I just want to say I'm sorry. Sorry beyond articulation. A lot of it is I owe my community. I was a part, real big part of the problem, right in my own neighborhood. Now, did I go rob houses and and all that stuff? No, but did I steal from a few friends? Yeah. Did I steal from my family? Yeah. Did I steal from stores or whatever? Yeah. This whole neighborhood, now it's refurbished and beautifully. This is 30 years. I was really bad here. This house right here were friends of mine 30 years ago who are still friends of mine, but one's gone. Did I sell drugs in and about the streets of Binghamton, New York? Right here where we sit, Roger. I've shot up more cocaine in these 2 blocks than I could ever recall. And I really do, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, to the cops. There were just a ton of good cops, man, who really didn't want to arrest me, who really rather had seen me straightened out. I just want to say I'm sorry. Sorry beyond articulation. I owe my community, and this isn't, how do I say this, man? I'm not looking for absolution, or definitely not fucking looking for pity. But it's damn sure got nothing to do with my upbringing and or my community and or my closest friends, my close-knit downtown Center City friends who are predominantly Italian and black. It's scary. Because I'm not even scratching the surface of what really transpired here. The many, many summers long, winters, just like a zombie. I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but for all intents and purposes, whether it's cocaine, which was my drug of choice, or heroin or whatever, it reduces you to an animalistic behavior. You have one sole purpose when you rise. That's if you went to sleep. And all the way to you fall out. And when I say fall out, I mean fall out. God forgive me. Nothing stops me until police rescue me. You die long before you die. You die. For anyone young, when you are approached, because obviously it'll happen. It's just part of life. The nice stuff you did with your parents, your mother, your little sister, your little brother. But you gotta know. Forget football. Forget baseball. Forget basketball. Your grades, that's probably gonna go the first. Forget about nice girls. And that's not to say that a drug addict girl's a bad girl, because they're all good girls. I don't mean that whatsoever. And your friends that you did everything with growing up, everything is, that part of your life is over. To the cops. There are just a ton of good cops, man. I'm thankful. They're a big part of the reason I'm here, believe it or not. And I really hope that you listen and really feel that I mean this. Thanks for rescuing me.
This is American Real. I am Roger Brooks. My guest today is Joseph Jeremiah Yannuzzi. From the age of 18 to your mid-50s, you battled with many addictions, including narcotics and alcohol. In addition, you spent over 20 plus years collectively in jails, prisons, and other institutions. You admit to use of marijuana to combat anxiety and anger, and today you're doing well, working hard to overcome your demons, knowing full well that you're a split-second decision away from disaster. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Roger.
I appreciate so much that you're doing this because it's not easy, right? You've gone through so much in your life, and
I've put myself through so much in my life.
I'm glad you said that because I want to help young kids that are watching this maybe learn something from your story that could help them on their journey. And I think the first thing, right, is to admit fault, right? Not to blame others, and you take full responsibility for your actions.
Well, there's just no other way. I brought it all on myself, and I paid the piper, so to speak. No bad mommy, daddy, brothers, sisters. I had the best. I had the best family, the best community, friends, neighbors, I say community. I had all the advantages. And that includes, I don't care about monetary or what neighborhood I'm from. It didn't matter. I could have done whatever I wanted to do. And I chose to take a hard left in life instead of going with my original friends. And that's how I ended up like I am.
And Joe, looking back, do you think it was a combination of, I know you have a big family, older brothers and sisters, trying to be older, trying to impress people, trying to fit in?
I can't tell you how many hours, countless, that I've had during them 20 years to think about stuff like that. Drive yourself crazy. I don't recall that. I know, I can only tell you what my mother always faulted herself for foolishly. She said I was too young to play with Mike and John, Colleen and Mary Jo. And so I had 4 little sisters who I adored. Was like a guard dog. And my mother said everything would be beautiful. That I'd be in their room playing with them, and blah, blah, blah. The day goes on, and she'd hear a screech from somebody in there, one of the girls, and go in there and just pluck me out. She felt that was like, it's ridiculous.
But maybe the start of taking you out of a situation that you were comfortable in.
She just probably accepting the blame. She felt like that I may have looked at it like that or interpreted it like that. It's too young to interpret anything, pro or con with the situation. So again, my mother's thoughts are respectfully foolish. It wasn't long after that I went to Southside Park, but go ahead.
And what was that?
My sisters took me there, which is why I kind of think maybe my mother, what her thoughts were incorrect, that, like I looked upon her badly. But maybe she had an idea about how being pulled out in kind of like no man's land maybe for a bit, whatever it was. But my first trip to Southside Park, 5 I think I was, my oldest sister Mary Jo and Colleen took me and ice skating. And it was there that I met those are my South Side friends. I got beat up actually that day and held in the snow, and so it was a baptism by fire. Danny Tinder, who I love to this day, is the one that beat me up. And I met and loved and hung out with forever Tony D'Amelia and Vince D'Amelia and Tommy Hannigan And after that day, that was big. So I really couldn't give you exacts, but I really believe that I did start walking over the Tompkins Street Bridge, like not long after that, by myself. And then throughout my early youth, I would run away. I'd leave at summertime. My father would do whatever, and I'd be out the window back to Southside Park again. So I was a bit of a incorrigible right from the start.
What years were this? Like 60s, late
Oh yeah,
60s?
60s. So it's 1967. So I would say right around from 1967 that was before I went to school, and now that's a whole other new story. Now I got my neighborhood friends, but that's where it all started. Taking off and pretty much doing what I want. And I got spanked, whatever, disciplined.
So were you kind of a mischievous rebel child from early on?
I think, but I don't think by design. It's ridiculous to think of a kid. I tell my mother, we joke a lot, and I tell her, I said, Ma, you do realize I stopped listening to you at like 5. Are we really still here? But I kind of did what I wanted from 5, and then at 9, things really changed.
What happened?
Well, I started smoking cigarettes. I think I became a drug addict. I think that behavior, all the behaviors that I exhibited to purchase, cover my breath, hide the cigarettes outside, smoke wherever I'm smoking. I think, I later read somewhere in a Hazelton book or some recovery book. I think that's pretty much where it started. And then Southside, well, I started smoking pot right here in downtown Binghamton with a friend who obviously I won't name, at 9.5. And then at Southside Park, basically from 9 on, we drank Boone's Farm wine on the weekends, robbed the liquor store, not robbed, and we were a bunch of little hoodlums, I guess you would call us. And it was pretty much like that weekend warrior stuff. And by hook or by crook, I wasn't going to be, if I knew the boys were somewhere, and I knew they were, I'm getting there somehow, some way, and I'll take the beating now, later, whatever. I don't understand. There's just no rhyme or reason. It's got nothing to do with my parents, my upbringing, or my brothers and sisters, who I love and adore.
And you fall right in the middle, right?
Yes, 4 older, 4 younger. And I don't place much credence in that stuff either. But who am I?
Right. Some of those things are bigger than us that we may not know.
Exactly.
So what happened with school? So you said you were in and out of schools.
Yeah.
This is elementary school?
Okay, my school career, funny fact, every single school I ever went to either was closed down or I was kicked out of. So school started at St. Mary's, and I loved St. Mary's. And those were my original friends, Center City friends, Georgie Slavic and Luciano Piccarilli. We were a threesome, inseparable. There's a lot of stories in there, but I mean, if we're going through the schools, that was great. It closed. I went to St. John's. Everything was different. And at that time, I didn't have a reputation because, I was probably a little, like you said, mischievous. But something really tragic happened there that I still bothers me to this day. I feel so remorseful and so small. Wintertime, now the dates and the seasons, some are there, some aren't, but I'm certain of this being wintertime because it was King of the Mountain. the snow plow hill in back of St. John's School. I pushed a girl far too hard off the mountain, off the thing. She broke her arm. Whew. And obviously, it's terrible, horrific. And went home, got beatings in regular intervals for a month. But I don't know how long after that. This all just came together, because this is a really, I'm not proud of this, but I'll tell you, I never lost any sleep over it either. I'm in class one day, and obviously this had already happened. God, I hope these are the sequence of events. And I know this happened. A nun, Sister Regina Marie, came to the door. Now, I don't recall doing anything outlandish or anything, but maybe looking at the teacher at the front of the room, believe it or not. And she had called me out, whatever, how she stopped the teacher and the joke. And I was out there maybe 2 seconds. I kind of like just faced her, and she didn't even say anything to me, just a haymaker. I mean, she cocked back to Vestal Ave on me and just smashed me perfect across the face, open-handed. And I can't even recall all I recall is, and I don't even recall this because it was just such a normal reaction. I gave her the best right hook that I ever shot at that age. Wow. And bolted out of the school and ran and didn't stop running until I got to Columbus Park. And didn't go home. I don't believe I went home that night. I believe I slept somewhere around St. Mary's gym. But now I'm kicked out, and of course, back to with my father. And Lincoln School was next. Another horrific thing. One that I brought on myself, but now we're going, my reputation precedes itself. So I don't know what kind of struggles I had. I remember a principal messing with me. Charles, I don't remember if he had left and Miss McNulty came later. She took over the principal spot. But he didn't like me from the start. Anyways, again, this is my fault. Another student was carrying a science project. It was something that took quite some time to do. It was an egg and vinegar, and slowly eroded the shell and made it translucent. And I don't know what in God's name possessed me to do what I did. I really don't. I wish I could remember. Apparently I was a little punk like that, but I don't remember being a fucking punk like that. And I think I knew the kid too. I don't know. I just don't recall why. I did. It smashed and all hell broke loose. Now this kid's been doing this project for God knows how long. Now his teacher, and like I said, it got crazy. So I was kicked out of school. And not only kicked out of school, my parents were told I would not be allowed back there and or any other school in Binghamton, in the city, unless I came back and got on my knees, literally got on my knees. And I don't know if they said begged for mercy or apologized. I don't recall. What I do recall is my parents exhausting all avenues, trying to get me into another school. So they were accurate in what they told them. So I was made to do it. So the day that it happened, foggy, all I remember is this woman, these two women, and my mother and father, and I don't know if Jeff was there, which Jeff snuck me. We got, not really a fight. He got me good. He kind of got me when I wasn't looking. And, but no hard feelings. Love him to this day. I was dead wrong. And we still talk, still see each other often. But I got on my knees, and I don't recall the exact words. I recall pain, man, like, like something, not pain, just like agita, like never before. Something's coming up. Not vomit, just rage, or I don't know. But I got down and I did it, and I had seen the looks in my parents' face as I did. So I got it over with, immediately jumped up, went out, flew out the door, flew down the hall, down the steps, bolted out the front door, ran to, I think, Columbus Park again, or Tremont, somewhere, and I didn't go home that night. Am I blaming these people for my drinking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. A little crazy what they did, certainly. But, I was progressively becoming worse. Now, this had pretty much cemented for me, though, that all bets are off. There is no teacher, no cop, truant, father, mother, brother, sister, nobody.
No one was going to tell you what to do.
No. I mean, they could do it, tell me what to do all they want. And, if whatever kind of line I had to toe to, skirt around and do what I want to do what I like to do, I did. But for the most part, there was nobody ever gonna fucking humiliate me like that again. Ever.
So the cigarettes, the marijuana, that started when you were 9, 9.5, 10.
And sex.
At
Terrible. A girl, I think a year or two older. It wasn't like she raped me or anything. Nothing like that. I was a participant. Performed a sexual act in the park. Not even 10 years old.
Oh.
That's horrific. Looking back on, horrific.
So you have that going on. You have the cigarettes, marijuana, trouble in school.
Trouble everywhere, yeah.
Trouble everywhere. So what was your home life like at that time? Trouble there as well?
Well, yeah. Any time I was in trouble outside, you gotta you gotta pay.
And what were your older brothers and sisters doing? Were they trying to help? Were they talking to you? Were they too busy?
No, they weren't too busy. Absolutely not. My brothers, I don't think there was really like talk. Sit me down and, Joe, you gotta, I don't recall that. They may tell you something different, and if they do, then they're accurate, because, my brain's not what it used to be. I know my brothers love me, that's for damn sure. And I know I worship them. My brother Mike and I hated him for a while, because he didn't take no shit. We went at it. I mean, I didn't get one win, but yeah, the pressure was at home too, because I don't want to be there. I want to be out, and if I'm home, that must be that I'm not able to go out. And I wasn't I'm not saying I was a bad kid to my parents, but that's just not nice. You know what I mean? Not nice. I caused my parents irreparable, spiritual, mental pain. My mother slept the best when I was in jail. It's terrible to say. She slept the best when I was locked up.
She knew you were safe.
Yep.
So let's get there, Joe. 13, 14, 15, it seems like it's getting progressively worse.
Worse and worse. Each school I hit a teacher.
Okay.
On the way.
Okay. So there's anger going on too, right? You're hitting people, you're fighting,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to...
Unbased, though, unfounded. I don't know where, I couldn't have collected all that anger. Well, maybe I could have with Ann McNulty and Sister Regina Marie. Maybe I could have. But I'm not here to, I'm not blaming them. But yeah, I guess maybe that's was some anger and what they did to me and the repercussions, because I didn't just get that happen. I got to pay Big Don's penalty on Henry Street.
Your dad.
And that was rough.
Yeah.
I'd rather him smack the shit out of me than not look at me or not talk to me. That used to kill me.
Yeah.
Because him and I, there was a saying they always used to make me say when I was a kid, my daddy's my buddy. And, we were tight. He protected me. He protected me against Mike.
So for parents that are listening, or what are some signs that kids may be doing, to try to help them see some of the activity or patterns that you...
I guess just not engaging. I don't think I was
just elusive.
I wanted to be out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be home.
So that might be a sign then.
I think so. What the kid might want to be out for, it's not a guaranteed thing. It's hard. It's really hard, especially in this day and age, where everything is just at their fingertips, and it's some can cover it. It will definitely come out. It's just hard to really know. For me, if I had a kid, being an addict. Now, if I see the kid's eyes, I'll tell you, boom. If I see his mannerisms.
What are you looking for in the eyes?
I could read a guy on a street corner, right here, Susquehanna Street. I could see a person now in my day, God forgive me, when it was terrible, when I was a real big part of the problem, which is a big part of me wanting to do a book. Because I'm sorry to Binghamton for being a part of the problem. But I could tell a guy who doesn't have drugs or money for drugs, looking for them, just bought drugs on his way to go get them, blah, blah, or look in their eyes. I could see it all from a mile away. If the heroin, it's not difficult. You have no pupils. If your kid's got no pupils, if they're pin razor point pupils, I don't care what's going on. You need to shake them up, or not shake them up. That's another thing. I don't know. It's another big hurt for me. I have a son. Had nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. And that's another whole story. But cocaine, everybody knew I was high the minute I hit the room.
So it makes your pupils
dilate. Cocaine dilates. There's no, if you got nice pretty blue eyes, they're basically, you got a little rim of blue and the rest black.
And then
heroin,
the opposite.
The complete opposite.
Okay.
That's immediate. And I'll tell you what, in this day and age, and with heroin, I'd be checking my kids' arms. I really would. Really would. If a parent had, I know parents, you got to give your kids some privacy and all this stuff. But you know what, at this point, at the way they fall and die,
you have to intervene.
You know what, give me your arm. Give me that, and that's it. And whatever conflict that causes, and here's the biggest problem. For me, I'm going to say, I need to keep all this on me because this is on me. I would never, my mother's obviously going to hear this. I always thought, and I know, and I played it, I took advantage, my parents enabled, but they stopped. Finally, they stopped it. But I'm thinking if they would have just said, and of course they had many times, but I always come back and somehow weasel my way back in, I'll do better, blah, blah, blah. What's a parent gonna do? My mother and father loved me, And I trampled on it. So I think if they had just, but I don't know. You know, I got sent away at 15. I came back, it was only 3 years later, now I got a needle in my arm. And my life basically was over as I knew it. And I was okay with it, is the saddest part. I didn't invest in myself and or a future or anything. I really, honest to God to you, Roger, I didn't think I was gonna be here past 25. I really didn't. And all self-inflicted wounds. I have nobody to blame, never been a blamer. Pretty brutally honest guy. I'm not gonna be brutally honest, and nor have I been in the courts and the system. You know, that's, obviously I'm not gonna do that. Today though, I'm a brutally honest guy, and I've always been pretty brutally honest, but for me, addiction, it attacks you. You know, I don't do cocaine, heroin, alcohol, pills, blah, blah, blah. But there's other behaviors, and I'm not closely affiliated with NA. I don't do it as it's prescribed. God bless all of them, because it's one of the most wonderful things on the planet, that and AA. But I do know the 12 steps, and I do practice humility. I wake up in the morning, I beg God, not that I have to, and I talk to God like a homeboy, man, every day. And sometimes if people see me in traffic, and they might think I'm a little cuckoo, because I really like talk to them.
You sound remorseful.
Not even close, just beyond remorseful. I have a lot of full of regrets, full of hurt, pain, hurt, pain because of causing others hurt, pain, and not, you know, it starts with family, obviously. I've crushed their spirits and hopes for me and disappointed them,
And I get that, but now I want to ask you, because you're on the other side of things now, what are things like now?
Wow.
How's the relationship with your mom, with your siblings? Are they supporting you? Have you seen a shift since you've really made an effort to change your own behavior?
Yeah. First of all, my family undeservingly never abandoned me. Ever. One time, that's another story. But anyways, I can't even describe how happy and how nice my life is. And I've known this. I put together a couple years before, and then did a really cool thing with a big family event, and then had to reward myself. Yeah, had to reward myself. I'm beyond it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm never going to do it again, because I don't even think about ever. I don't think about ever. I wake up and I ask God for 24. That's it, man. That's all I want. And in that 24, I'm certain that I am not as productive as I could and should be. I have a lot of, I don't want to call them mental, because I'm all right mentally, but brain issues. I recently got a book from an old friend, my sweetheart in Texas, childhood crush, Karen. And it's called Healing the Addict Brain. By page 3 or 4, I'm already getting discouraged, depressed. Page 16, I'm done. Can't even do it no more.
Why?
They showed a X-ray. I guess it's an X-ray and or a photo of a good brain.
Healthy brain.
Healthy brain.
Yeah.
Then they showed same thing of a bad brain, drug, alcohol, whatever. And I just like, I I didn't cry like tears, but inside it, something
Hit you.
dropped. And I'm thinking, oh my God, now I'm wondering, we don't even know how old this person, this skull, whatever, how old they are, and or how many years, and or what they've used. I've done it all for over 40 years, in and out. What must my brain look like? Now the bad brain, and they had a couple different examples, looked like a piece of dry ice that had been in the sun and disformed, and big holes, gaping holes in it, and just, so I shut the book and that was it. That was it.
But I have to say that I've only known you a couple weeks, and we're going to talk about a project you're working on, which is a book, and I think that's amazing. But you're a very smart guy. You have an incredible vocabulary, and you stay pretty focused. So my question is, do you have to work hard at that? I mean, are you working?
Roger, I can't multitask. Now I used to be pretty swift, but I am clearly handicapped now. I've handicapped myself. I have no memory. Say the question again, Roger.
So I'm just wondering, do you have to work hard at staying focused?
Yes, I do. And
is that an example just now that you had to ask me again?
yeah, it happens all the now. My brothers and sisters will tell you
Mm-hmm.
it's a hereditary thing, and perhaps it is. My mother gets upset, and she's 85, and I said, Mom, I'm 57, and I'm already worse than you. I don't want to hear it. Don't quit crying, laugh at her. But yeah, I have difficulties, and smoking marijuana, which is what I've done for the almost 2 years that I've got, the first time I got straight for 2 years, it was completely NA. Not specifically, I didn't do all that was required.
And NA is Narcotics
Anonymous,
Okay.
right. But I did not use any substances, mind-altering substances. And I am not here to say I got the Kool-Aid, because I don't. This got nothing to do with anybody else's recovery. This is what I do.
So Joe, you mentioned earlier that you were in a home for about a year. How old were you then, and where were you?
I had just turned 15, and I was in a place called Berkshire Farm for Boys in Canaan, New York. I think it's, about an hour outside of Albany.
What was the environment like?
Only the fittest survive. Not like you're killing people, but
The toughest
you're
of the tough.
If I thought I was tough, and I was all right, I just went to a place where there's about 300 more guys tougher and bigger, and so it's 5 boroughs in every upstate city in the state: Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Utica.
So when you got there, what was it like your first day?
Wow, it was crazy, unbelievable first day. I think I probably hadn't even been there 8 hours. You go to, get your clothes issued and all your stuff. Get assigned to a cottage. In the cottage there are, I don't recall, I want to say there was like 20 people, but it might not have been that many. It might have been over, 15. Seemed like a lot when I first got there. But anyway, the first memory I have is this big dude. His name is David Williams. And I don't recall why, and he didn't come and do anything, but it was clear that he was giving me checking me. Like to say he's anyways, that got forgotten about. I don't even remember when it all the stuff happened that just got dropped. That night they had a riot, which was, I'd been there about 8 hours now. First night there's a riot, so 6 inches of water in the entire building. Pretty big building. Well, in our sleeping areas.
Okay.
Plugging toilets, screwing up this
So
and
when you
that.
say riot, were people fighting too, or was it more just
no
causing?
vandalism?
Okay.
Yeah, you know. Hell no, we want to go whatever. Just breaking furniture, ripping pillows, mattresses, blah blah blah. Now I don't know what I get. Obviously, I was doing something, and the cottage father at this place. There are 2 sets of male and females, 3 on, 3 off, whatever, 3.5 days on, and they literally have a little back place where they sleep at night, or there's a staff house up on the hill. Anyways, this guy, I really didn't even know what was going on. Somebody grabbed me and then started screaming in my face, and then, I just swang. And I caught him, probably not hard or anything, and he probably yoked me up. I really don't know what transpired after that. I do know that he could have completely ruined my life forever, because I was supposed to, because that...
If you hit one of the
Oh,
staff.
God, you hit a staff at any of those places. And this is the 70s. I'm sure the rules were a little more stringent back then. I'm certain of it, that this guy saved my behind. His name was Al Irwin, and I love him to this day. I've never been able to locate him. But, so the next day, it was weird. The next day we go to the chow hall, and this is where, it's like army ants. The upper complex, you're marching, pretty much. And you could tell everybody, it already got around. It, spread like wildfire. So, and everybody's looking at me like I'm a condemned man. I'm out of here. I just hit a staff member. I don't know what happened, I'm certain Al himself stopped it all. There's no other solution, but I don't know what he did to stop me from being immediately charged, and then another whatever. That would probably been a felony, hitting a staff member. Anyway, the other guys in the cottage figured, who the fuck is this guy? And that was the same look I got. I got like dead man walking look in the chow hall, but I also got and from that day on, Al Irwin. I got kicked out of there 11 months later with a 2-inch stack of individual incident reports. Predominantly violent.
You were getting in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I got a taste for it. I mean, I was...
At that point...
Danny Titter kicked my ass in Columbus, or Southside Park. Bruno Saraceno whooped me up in Columbus Park. So I guess maybe I was learning, and I wasn't gonna let that shit happen too much more.
But at this time, are you feeling are you going down a path of
It's over. All bets are off with authority. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't care. I just didn't. I'm sure I wasn't the baddest badass in Berkshire Farms history, but it was a long, hard ride.
So you get out of there, and then what happens? When does the drug start?
Well, I'm smoking pot the whole time at Berkshire Farm. I get out, I'm 16, smoking pot, drinking, no other hard drugs. Did we do? I think we might have did. No, not at 16. Smoking pot, drinking booze. Not a big drinker. Not at all. Can't hold it. Not one of them, not a Jekyll and Hyde guy, not a mean drunk at all. I'm looking for the cutest chick in the place when I'm drunk. But 18 is when when I did cocaine for the first time. And it was in the midst of a first love, blues, breakup that I completely deserved and was undeserving of her. And quickly, if I learned about cocaine as quickly as I learned about love, I'd have been a millionaire. I hurt her, and it just never left, and I'm still sorry to this day. But to get back to what happened, Southside Park flagpole, summer of 1980, with a friend, a girl, drinking a Jenny beer, sitting on the little, two guys, friends of mine, older guys, were in a car on the street and yelled out my name, Joey, come here. I used to always hang out with the older guys when I came back from Berkshire Farm. And they handed me a McDonald's tray and some white line on it. And I did a sniff in each nostril.
You weren't afraid?
No, not at all. And went back to the flagpole, and in about 6 minutes, a little drip down my nostril, and then I yelled out, because they were still there, hanging out in the car, and I yelled out, you know, hey, so-and-so, any more? And I went over, did some more. 4 days later, shot it, injected cocaine. Somebody injected me with cocaine. And
you're 18.
And I was 18, beast. The reason I say that, not like an arrogant, pompous ass, because later down the years, I realized this was kind of abnormal, but go figure. So that night, 4 days later, I go in on an amount of cocaine with some friends. This other friend is shooting us all up. So my turn comes, he does it, and nothing. And I'm looking at him. Everybody's looking at me because this is the first time.
You didn't feel anything?
Nothing, zero, nada, don't know what's, nothing. So they go around the horn again, comes to me, they put more in it, a little more at this time. Again, I'm looking at them, now they're looking at me like I'm lying, like I'm trying to get more for for what I chipped in. Sick as that sounds. And I said, listen, maybe I'm missing it. Tell me what the fuck am I supposed to be? And the guy that's doing me says, listen, I really don't want to give you a verbatim. But he said, if this next one doesn't work, you're starting to scare me, we got to stop. I can't do it again. So the third time, they put more, even more than the first two times. And once he did what he did, and it's just, it's not even pleasant talking about. First thought, I don't know what came first, the thought or the effect. I don't really want to describe it, there's no need to, of what was going on with the effect and the elation and the euphoric stuff of the drug. But somewhere I thought, oh my God, I know why they fucking kill old ladies and rob purses in New York City. Where that came from, I'll never know. That was my first thought, and you'd have thought that would have been enough. But it was too late. One was, had they, this is it, again, this is all me. Rod, you mentioned something about my book. My book's name is going to be, if anybody ever did to me what I did to myself, I'd kill them. So I don't want anybody to ever misinterpret that I lay blame it begins and ends with me. It has since I was 5. But that was it was the to give you a half-assed analogy, that would be like walking into bar some night or restaurant, and Christy Brinkley came up to you and said, "Take me home" or something. It was that. There was no. There was no going back. On to the next one. Looking for the next one. Doing what you got to do for the next one. It's just fucking evil. And mind you, I couldn't inject myself. I don't know that yet. I'm not that smart or whatever it requires. But one time I couldn't find the guy who does it. And I just mentally reenacted and did it in my room. And I told you after the third time when I started, life changed. Now life really changed. Now I don't need anybody. Now I'm full blown. I'm like gone on cocaine. And it came before everything. There's no, I can't even begin to tell you. It would reduce me to tears. We'd be here for days. It's stuff that I'll write about in the book. That's kind of what this is about for me, and why I'm so grateful to have found you, because this has been something I wanted to do for quite a while. A lot of it is I owe my community, and this isn't. How do I say this, man? I'm not looking for absolution, or definitely not fucking looking for pity. You know what I mean? If you see me in a fight with a bear, pour honey on me, help the bear. I feel in my heart. It's undeniable. I owe my community. I was a part. Real big part of the problem, right in my own neighborhood. Now, did I go rob houses and and all that stuff? No, but did I steal from a few friends? Yeah. Did I steal from my family? Yeah. Did I steal from stores or whatever? Yeah. Did I sell drugs in and about the streets of Binghamton, New York? Right here where we sit, Roger. I've shot up more cocaine in these 2 blocks than I could ever recall. And gave my life away. There's no, like we said in the beginning, Mommy, Daddy, Mrs. McNulty, Sister Regina, none of them did this to me. I was already kind of a rough character, a little wild when I was a kid, and for whatever reasons, but it's damn sure got nothing to do with my upbringing and or my community and or my closest friends, my close-knit downtown Center City friends who are predominantly Italian and black. Joe Yannuzzi did this to Joe Yannuzzi.
Tune in next week for part 2 of our episode with Joseph Yannuzzi. And to receive bonus footage and behind-the-scenes images, click on the link in the show notes to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to American Real. Be sure to visit our website, AmericanReal.tv, or search for us on iTunes or YouTube for past episodes. While you're there, please rate us or leave us a review, as that helps others find our show. I am truly grateful and appreciate all of your support. If you'd like to be part of our inner circle or want one-on-one coaching, check out the American Real Learning Academy, where we have self-help groups and courses so you can build the best you. We also have a new Facebook group where you can connect with high achievers from around the world. If you want to go even further, maybe you're determined to write your own book or launch your own podcast, contact me today to see if we could help. You can reach me through Instagram or Facebook, or email me directly at roger@americanreal.tv. And speaking of podcasting, our next course will be starting soon. So if you're interested in launching your own podcast, join me and Podcast Your Passion. I'll take you through my 8-week course where I'll mentor you to build a world-class podcast. I'm only taking on a small group of people who want to share their passion through broadcasting, where I'll have you up on iTunes and YouTube within weeks so you can podcast your passion. Click on the link below for more information. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.